welcome to today's all-age service. I hope you enjoy your time with us.
You have all been invited at this time to this place.
We don't just want an invitation, we want to be welcomed.
You are all offered a warm welcome to this place.
We don't just want to welcome, we want to have a voice.
You are all welcome, and this is a place for listening.
We don't just want a voice, we want it to be heard.
You are all welcome here, and your story will be heard.
We don't only want to be heard, we want to be believed.
You are welcome to this place where no truth is denied.
We don't only want to be believed, we want to be trusted.
You are welcome to this place where your words are accepted.
We don't only want to be trusted, we want to be loved.
You are welcome to this place where God's love embraces all.
Right. My name is Tom Reynolds. I'm from Jamaica. I came to Britain on the 5th of April, 1961. My first impression was negative. You know, when I saw the weather, you know, coming from a hot country, bright, it took me a while to readjust, yeah? One thing I couldn't get my head around. The next morning after I came, me and my brother went to Clapham Junction, and I just come from Jamaica. Everyone I saw, hello, good morning, and everyone turned away, and I couldn't understand why. So my brother took me aside and said, Tom, cut that out, it don't work here, you know? So that was my first impression, you know, but, you know, that's the only negative thing, you know, and there was a lot of negativity going around. Like, if you go for a room, they'll say, you sign on the window, no Irish, no blacks, no dogs, yeah? But I never really go through that because I came up to stay with my uncle in Battersea. And, you know, he had a 5-bedroom house. Me and my brother stayed there until my brother got a place and I moved in with him. And after that, I met my dear wife. And we got a council flat. And from the council flat, I stayed in a few years, and then we bought this house in 1976. And basically, that's my story. I have a lot more to say, but you will take a day.
A whole day upon
Yeah, all day fine for that one.
Okay, I am Barrington Ranger. I'm from Jamaica. Arrived here on the 22nd of March 1961. And my greatest surprise when I came here was the cold. I couldn't dream that something could be that cold. But I gained a further experience, the winter of 1961.
Yeah.
I've never seen that again. I saw snow on the ground for 13 weeks. And I said, anytime I make back my fear, if another winter is like that, back to the West Indies. But I was lucky it never happened again. But all my years been here, this racial business, I've seen it, especially as he said. Say for instance, you want to get a room. Those days, on most little corner shop that they sell newspaper, you will see that if you have a room, you go to the person who owns the shop, you might give him 20 pence or something like that, and he stick it in the window for you. So if you're passing on the street, you can see exactly where a room is.
Yeah.
But on it, sometimes it said no blacks, no Irish, no dogs, no niggers. So that is the only thing I come up with that I can say I face a real.
And how did that feel? Seeing them types of things in that time?
To be honest with me, many times I think if I'm in the right place, why did I come here? But after a while, it fades out.
Yeah, it becomes more acceptable.
Yeah.
It was acceptable in those days because the first job I went to, well, by the way, I was a trained tailor before I came here, and when I came looking for jobs, I couldn't get that job. So I got a job in a factory in Thames Ditton. Yeah, it was they make elements for kettles, washing machine, and all those. And I turned up the Monday morning, and this charge hand, he handed me a broom. So I said, what's that for? He said, you got to sweep the floor, which I did. I took the broom and I swept the floor. So lunchtime, we went in the canteen and the foreman came in and I have the broom there, lean up beside me. So he said, what are you doing that broom? I said, well, the sergeant tell me I've got to sweep out the factory floor, which I did. And he called it the charge hand and give me a ride rollicking. And he took me and put me on one of the machines. They were doing it's a thing like a presser. It's a jig. That's what they call it, a jig, to make the element. And from there, it so happens I was there for 2 years, and after 3 months, that foreman, Mr. Asher, never forget his name, he made me charge hand. And then that other guy left. He couldn't take it.
Come
so-
on. Come on.
Precious.
Come on.
And the only reason I leave that place is because they moved to Winchester, and they wanted me to move with them, with a accommodation, and they would make me up to foreman. But I didn't fancy going so far in the country, so
Yeah.
I left at that time.
And with everything that's going on today and what's happening now,
Yeah.
would you say things have changed, or
Yes,
would you
a lot.
say,
It changed a lot.
yeah?
Yeah.
A lot.
The thing is, there's still racism going on, but it's not, and you don't see it as much. But in those days, it was prevalent. You could see it. A person would just come up to you and call you, "Hey, darky, what are you doing here?" and things like that. Really raw. But now it's there, but it's undercurrent. You know, I don't know which is worse, but you know,
Yeah.
that's the way it is. We gotta
Yeah.
keep fighting it. But really, throughout my time in England, I haven't come across any raw racism, you know,
Yeah.
like some people do. I know it exists, and I know people that has
Been
suffered,
through it.
been through it. But myself, I couldn't say I've come up against it. Yeah. But right, I think the only thing will change this is education.
Okay.
You gotta start with the thoughts, because racism, you're not born with racism. It's something you learn, and you learn it from your elder peers. Yeah, it's not taught in school, in the playground, and in the home. That's where it
come from.
develops. Yeah.
And what
So
can
if
we
we-
do as a church? What do you think we could do as a
As a
church?
church, I think we're doing quite a lot at the moment. You know,
Okay.
it's a wider public got to be educated.
Yeah.
You know?
My name is Veronica. I came to England quite young. I was with my grandmother, and my mom came over to England, and I decided I stayed with my grandmother. In the end, I decided I come to England, and I was only young when I came, but I was learning to sew before I came here, and I went out to find a job, and they sent me to a sewing place to do some work. And this guy looked at me and said, "What do you come for?" I said, "Anybody else there?" He said, "She's not there, but he said, "Wait." And then he said, "What you come here for? Go back to the banana boat that you come in." And I just take the bag that I had, my handbag, and I just walked through the door. And I'll never forget that, because I was only young, you know.
No, you're looking to,
I was only young, and I said, "What is he talking about? I don't know what a banana boat looks like." And I picked up my bag and I go through the front door, and the boss called me. I said, "I'm out." And there was I. Never go there again. Find another job the next day.
So, any last words you want to say to everybody?
I would
Anything?
say I would not give up Britain right now for any other country, not even my own,
same.
where
same.
I come from.
Yeah.
I love this country. I grow
quite happy here.
I grow to like the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
I never know I could end up this way, but
And the majority of Brits are quite decent people. It's just the handful
Yeah, that's
who's
true.
around
That's true.
and trying to be. And I think you find that anywhere in the world you go.
That is true.
Like the USA, what did I say?
Thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you all. Thanks, Veronica.
You're welcome.
I'm trading my sorrows, I'm trading my shame, and I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. And I'm trading my sickness, and I'm trading my pain, and I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. We say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. I'm trading my sorrows, I'm trading my shame, and I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. And I'm trading my sickness, I'm trading my pain, I'm laying it down for the joy of the Lord. We say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. And we say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. And we say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. And we say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen. And we say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord, amen.
I see the King of Glory coming on the clouds with fire. The whole earth shakes, the whole earth shakes. I see His love and mercy washing over all our
I are going to do a quiz. So on the screen you should see a picture. There will be 10 different pictures of different individuals. They're real people, and we're going to ask you what you think they do. We're going to tell you their name, and then we're going to give you 3 options for what their occupations are, and you need to choose. Okay, we're going to take it in turn. So I'm going to go first. Number 1 is Cassie Kinoshi. Do you think she's A, a composer, B, a teaching assistant, or C, a speech therapist? She's A, a composer.
So number 2 is Catherine Bracewell. Is she A, a nurse, B, a Baptist minister, or C, a teacher? So the answer is B, she is a Baptist minister.
Number 3, this is Marcia Hudson. Is she A, a singer, B, a quality control and health regulator, or C, a human rights lawyer? She is B, a quality control and health regulator.
Number 4 is Simon Richard. Is he A, a train driver, B, a sports coach, or C, a magistrate? The answer is C, he is a magistrate.
Number 5, this is Kalpina Thomas. Is she A, a tribunal judge, B, a hospital administrator, or C, a nursery manager? She is A, a tribunal judge.
The next one is Emmy Pierce. Is she A, a woman's design magazine writer, B, an interior designer, or C, a care assistant? The answer is C, a care assistant.
Number 7 is Paul Hudson. Is he A, an electrician, B, a delivery driver for Amazon, or C, a health and safety consultant? The answer is C, he's a health and safety consultant.
The next one is Nadia Lavalette. Is she A, a fashion designer, B, a training and development officer, or C, an artist? She is B, a training and development officer.
Number 9 is Amy Malumba. Is she A, a construction cost manager, B, a receptionist for a GP surgery, or C, an in-house architect? The answer is A, a construction cost manager.
This is Tox Kinoshi. Are they A, a taxi driver, B, a business consultant, or C, an IT manager? They are B, a business consultant. I wonder how many you got right.
I hope you did well.
And I hope you enjoyed the quiz.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and good morning, Mitcham Laners. Long time no see. Good to be with you here this morning. And after all this time, it's good to see that you're looking no better. I mean, no different from when I saw you the last time. It has been a while, but it is good to be with you here today. And I have been invited by the wonderful Hannah, the world's greatest singer, to share with you this morning my thoughts on how we live like Jesus every day within the context of racial justice. So I want to begin by telling you a bit of a story and then I'll explain where I'm going. So before I went into ministry, I was working at local authority in the community education department at Waltham Forest Council. And the staff in that department knew that I was going into ministry. So one day, one of the secretaries took me aside and said, look, Chris, could you answer a question that has been baffling me since childhood? And I said, yeah, of course, absolutely. And I could see she was quite, perplexed by this question that had been puzzling her. So I went aside and I said, okay, yeah, what is it? And she said, yeah, this question has just been around for such a long time. And she said to me, Chris, does God understand foreigners? So I took a bit of a pause. And then I said to her, do you think that God is English? And then she said to me, oh my gosh, he's Jewish, isn't he? And I tell you that story because we have a tendency to view the world from our own perspective, and not just the world, everyone else, and even God from our own perspective. So everyone like us, this is normal. If you look like me, sound like me, talk like me, this is normal, and everything else is different. So can't comprehend that anybody speaks a different language, and that God speaks the same language as me. And when we think that if we judge the world by our own standards, everything else is different, then we create this tension, we create a risk that if everyone else is different, then potentially we can treat everybody else as differently. They're not the same as me. I don't have to value them quite the same way because they're other, they're different, they're separate, distinct from me. And this is where prejudice comes in. This is where racial injustice comes from, because anyone else who doesn't fit and conform to my norm and my standards of normality, it's okay to treat them in a different way. But also, going a bit further than that, one of the other things it means is if we only think God looks like us, then we don't see God in others. We don't see God in other people. We don't see the image of God in other people. We don't see the image of God in their countries and in their cultures. And when we take God out of people, it means, again, we end up devaluing them. We sort of see them as not just other, but if they're not properly human, not fully human, because they're not really made in God's image, then it means, again, there's a possibility that we can treat them differently and treat them even brutally or cruelly because it's not really human. So we have a different standard of treatment of things depending on their humanity. So, we don't treat animals in the same way that we treat human beings. And unfortunately, if you start to see people as not made in God's image, we might start to treat them like animals. And that's when if you go back to the history of how people have been treated in the past by the slave trade or in actually other, even during the Holocaust, they're not fully human. And therefore, brutality is okay because we can ease our conscience with that. So how do we treat people? How should we treat people? Well, then we've got to walk with Jesus. We've got to look at Jesus and how he treated people. Parents brought their children to Jesus. And even though the disciples tried to stop them, Jesus treated children with dignity and respect. Women came to Jesus. They sat at his feet. They took the place of the discipleship that should have been assigned to men. But Mary came and sat by Jesus, and she claimed her position next to him as a student to learn alongside him. Jesus touched lepers, the blind, those who were demon possessed. He treated with respect and with dignity. And so we've got to do the same thing of everybody. In the same way that Jesus treated people, we've got to treat people with dignity, kindness, and respect, regardless of their background, culture, heritage, colour, language. Everybody is worthy of the same treatment that Jesus would treat us with as well. So on a personal level, my mum used to sing this song to me not just to me, but to us. And there was 5 of us at home. And sometimes, fights break out in the family. And she would sing a song to us. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. As some of you will know that song. And so justice and righteousness and treating people with dignity starts with me, how I treat other people in the schoolroom, in the workplace, in the church. We have to treat people with the way that Jesus treated people. But then also we have to go beyond that, because there are structures, organizations, the way that institutions operate that disadvantage some people. And so we have to look at the way that we do things. How do we treat people within our church? Do some people end up in the kitchen and other people end up in the boardroom, basically because there's a distinction in their backgrounds, their culture, their race, or their gender? We need to address those things. So let's look at Jesus. And one of the things that also the scripture tells us, what does God require of us? And there's 3 things: to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. And if we can do that within our churches and within the wider society, perhaps we can tackle one of the biggest diseases in the world that's been going on for centuries. And it's not the coronavirus. It's the disease of racism. And I want you to imagine a world that's free from racism, where we treat one another with respect, that people aren't hurt and damaged by the way that they feel and are made to be feel devalued. I want you to imagine that world. And I also want you to work with it and work for it within your church and with the society as well. So hopefully that gives you some idea of where I'm coming from. And hopefully in the near future, you will get to see all of this in the flesh. So I look forward to seeing you. Take care, Mitcham Lane. God bless, and have a lovely service. Take care. Bye.
There are 100 sheep, but one goes missing. Jesus leaves 99 and goes off after one, the 99. But what about us? Don't we matter? Of course the 99 still matter, but they're not ones in danger. The one is.
Hello church, it's Sunday craft time again. And this week we're going to do a circle of people. Lots of people, all holding hands. They're all different, but they all are the same as well. So we stand together in unity. So that's what the craft's about. And it's a really easy craft, and I'll show you what you're going to need. So you're going to need a piece of A3 paper, and that could be a white paper, coloured paper or gift wrap. And then you're going to need something to draw around, and I found a big dinner plate and that will just fit on my paper, so that's perfect. And you need a pen and some scissors and some coloured pens, whether felt tips or wax crayons. So this is a really easy craft, and I'm going to go fairly slow, so I'm hoping that lots of you will do the craft along with me. That would be great. So to begin with, we just need a circle of paper. So if you take your plate, and we're going to draw around it. So that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. I wanted to wish Noah a happy birthday. It's his birthday today, and it was lovely to see him last time. I think he helped Poppy to do the craft with Benjamin, and there was a really lovely picture of them all on Facebook, so that was great. Okay, so I've drawn my circle, and now I'm going to cut it out. And Anne did a brilliant job. Anne used a real vase instead of a bottle, which actually rang me to say how much she enjoyed it, so that's really lovely. So I hope she's following it along again today. And the Roberts family again, Omar and Crystal and Hannah, they did a really good job. And I think also Rachel did it with her twins, with Maddie and James. That was brilliant. So today it's just a colouring in job really, and some cutting out to create a shape, which you can then use as a decoration or a table centrepiece perhaps. So I'm just cutting out the circle. Okay. So I hope everyone's still getting on okay. I expect there's been lots of lockdown birthdays, haven't there? At least if you've got the weather, it's not too bad. You can go out to the park and have a picnic and meet up with a few friends. Or sit in the garden. I think we have to feel very lucky if we have a garden. Because obviously it's been a tricky time. I've been amazed how well used the Garden of Discovery has been used. I mean, it's brilliant. Whenever you pass there's loads of families, young mums, and they obviously really enjoy using the space. Okay, so here we are. We have a circle now. And now I think we're going to decorate it. We could decorate it at the end, but I think it'd be more fun to do it now. So this one I did, it's just random, abstract, dots, stripes. So I'm going to do similar again. And I think it's good if you start the design from the middle going outwards. So when you cut it up, then you have lots of decoration on your people. So just go mad, feel free. Could sort of channel rainbows, perhaps think about the NHS again even. I'm going to start with some wiggly lines. Here we go. Okay. And you could decorate at the end if you're finding it hard to keep up. But good to do it now if you can. Do some dots now. Feels like we're coming towards the end a little bit, doesn't it? We still need to be a bit careful, but with restaurants perhaps beginning to open, most of the shops are now open, a bit more back to normal. Okay. Does anyone get dressed up just to go for a walk? That's what I seem to do. A Zoom meeting or a walk, any reason. Otherwise you can be in your pyjamas all day if you're not careful. Okay, so I'm just doing some yellow now, wiggly lines. It's a bit pink. So if you'd gone back to school now, you wouldn't have very long left anyway. The schools be breaking up and then we'll be really into the summer. It's nice to see that St James you can go in now, sit for private prayer, I think once a week, so that's really good. Bit of orange. Oh. Oh, I have a loiterer on the stairs.
So why are you recording it in this direction?
Okay, so I'm getting there. Just want to fill it up with lots of colour. So there's lots of things going on. So when it's cut down, got some colour happening on the people. Has anyone managed to have a haircut yet? I think it's probably happening next week, isn't it? I was feeling quite laid back and I didn't get booked up, and now I'm the end of July. Oh dear. Okay. So just try and get a bit of pattern going on all over the circle, because lots of it will get cut away, but go mad, feel free. I think that will probably be fine. So there we go, looks like it's a bit like a pizza, doesn't it? So now we're going to cut it down to make the right shape. So I'm going to do it back to front so I can draw on it more easily. So you want to fold it in half and keep the pattern inside for now. So you fold it once in half, then you fold it into quarters. I did do this on using an A4 sheet, but it's quite tricky to do it smaller. And then just one more fold through the middle. Okay, so you should end up with this shape. Now this is the most tricky bit, is drawing on the people. So I have one I prepared here earlier. I don't know if you can see it. So I'll leave that there so people can look at that while they're having a go at it. It's just most important, obviously, that you keep their arms, their hands together. Otherwise, the whole thing is going to fall apart. And perhaps keep their heads separate. But apart from that, it's quite easy. I know it's quite good if you look at the shapes within it, because then they're the shapes that you end up with when it's cut out. So there's a bit of a heart shape here. You see through the holes. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to draw the heads to start with. So this is figures in skirts and trousers. I suppose they could just all wear trousers, really, couldn't they? But we all like wearing trousers. Okay, with the arms going down. So it's good to do it on the side without the pattern in case you don't get it quite right. I need to do it again. Okay. I think the thing is to try and make it symmetrical as possible. But you know, whatever happens, happens, doesn't it? It'll be fine. You can always adjust it a little bit. It's not quite. Okay, so there's my one. Not bad. So now I'm going to cut it out. So obviously the folds are there and we're not cutting through the folds as long as our shape is correct. So I'm going to cut on the heads to start with. Everyone's still enjoying the services, aren't they? Brilliant. So many people involved. Really good. Hannah and Olivia do such a good job. Okay, so take your time. You don't want to rush this bit. my office said I might not go back until January. Ooh, brilliant, we can work from home. January does seem quite a long way off at the moment. Okay. Okay, so obviously some pieces will fall out as you cut it. Okay, how's yours looking? I'm nearly there. I think lockdown's been a time when, you know, you really appreciated your friends and family. And perhaps you got in touch with that person that you might have lost touch with. Because life sort of simplified down. I think it's really brought a focus onto the things that we might take for granted normally, but just meeting a friend for a picnic or for a nice chat and a catch up. So, okay, so here's mine. My lady's a bit thinner than my man, but never mind. Okay, so then you can just open it out carefully and hopefully it won't all fall apart. Okay, so I've got that side which isn't decorated. Then I've got my decorated side. The heads always seem to get a bit squished, so if you flatten those down. And there we are. That's my circle of people. So I hope you liked it. I hope you managed to keep up. I mean, as I said, you could make the people and then draw the faces on and the clothes and the smiles. That would be really good. I'd love to see any pictures. If anyone does it, perhaps send the pictures in so that Hannah can put it on Facebook. Anyway, so bye for now. Well done. Thanks ever so much. Bye-bye.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it is. Then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he wind up knocking back down on the knee. There've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able, Father, to carry on. And it's been a long change gonna come. Yes, it is. I know. Said life can be hard. Oh yeah. And times can get rough, but still I know. Still I know a change gonna come. Oh, 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 oh. It will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Oh, it will. It will. It will. It will.
Thank you very much for joining our online service this morning. We hope you stay safe for the rest of the week. Thank you very much. Bye.